Sylmar fire now, and that's called the Creek Fire. That is now about 4,000 acres that has burned so far. Let's go to Christine Lazar, who's live in the Sylmar area. Christine.
I'm going to have you guys just walk with us. We're walking down to a row of homes that have been destroyed in this community. This is here in Sylmar, where firefighters are on scene trying to make sure that none of the other homes that are still standing catch fire just like the neighbors have done. You can see this house right here. A total loss, completely gutted by the fire. The people who live in this community tell me that it just happened so fast. They didn't even get evacuation orders. Around 3 in the morning, some of the neighbors just started knocking on their door saying, "You've got to get out." And that's exactly what they did. Many of them without their belongings. And you can see this row of homes right here. 3 homes in a row. Just a total loss, completely gutted by the fire. It's hard to see, it's hard to look at, because you realize people live here, they have all their belongings in there. It's not too far from the holidays, and I doubt people were able to get very much out of their house before they had to leave. It's hard for us to come really close to these homes because the wind is so strong, and the smoke and the water coming off the fire hoses, it gets into your eyes and in your face. I can only imagine how these firefighters feel. One of the things that has been really tough for them is that they've had their fire hydrants run out of water because there are so many hoses coming out of them. They just didn't have enough water to sustain all those hoses. So they have gotten the water back. That's when we were up at the top of the street earlier this morning, they had to start using the water off the trucks. The lines had just gone completely dry. So here's one home. People who live here will return to this. And down here you can see, I want to show you on this roof, this is not damage from the fire, this is damage from the wind. The wind pulled the shingles off the roof of this home, if that tells you just how strong those winds were. Now earlier, you guys were asking us if there's still a threat to the homes that have not burned. Firefighters tell me yes, there is still a threat. They're worried about the embers jumping from one home to the next. So they've got firefighters on every street here just watching these homes. At one point, one of the homes got some of the fire into the eaves, and it was climbing up a trellis on the side of the house. And thankfully, firefighters were able to get over there and stop that. So we're going to send it back to you guys in the studio. Again, this is in Sylmar, where several homes have burned. Back to you.
And Christine, we can see just how windy it is there, how difficult it is for you to talk and, of course, breathe. The air quality in the area is really at a very, very low number right now. So thank you so much, Christine.
East into Los Angeles County, just north of the 210, there is an area above Lakeview Terrace. It's called the Creek Fire. About an hour ago, we reported that fire had burned 100 acres. We're now going to Greg Mills, where he is going to report that we're up to 1,000 acres there. Greg.
And Sharon and Jeff, we're in Tujunga Canyon right here. As you can see, the flames are up along the ridge line. We were just told by firefighters we need to get out of here in just a minute, so we will. But as you can see, flames all along this ridge line right here, which is surprising because this is the area that burned. What was it? The station fire. And we're kind of between two fires, two old fires, the station fire and Latuna Canyon fire. And so it's surprising that there's that much that can burn right now. The big concern here is you see emergency vehicles going by. These are Sheriff's Department, Sheriff's deputies. But the big concern right now is a wildlife way station, which is up in the hills here. And that was a big concern, too, with the that fire about a year ago, because it's in a canyon, tons of animals that are being rehabilitated. And so it's a very dangerous situation for them. So they load up the animals and try to get them out. But they're very concerned about the workers and also about the animals. And now I see the fire starting to come over our ridge right over here to our left. Fire all along. And it is very, very windy, as you guys know. Two things, too. Folks, if you're going to work today on the 210 freeway, driving through the Latuna Canyon fire area, remember that burned last September, and so it is a big dust storm. We went through it very slowly, I might add. Trucks were slowing or stopping in that area. Got up to Osborne and Paxton, that area on the 210. Now we were dealing with heavy smoke. So if you're taking the 210 in anywhere near this fire area or from the fire area in September, be very, very careful and be prepared to go very, very slow. But here comes the fire up over this ridge line. Again, we were told to leave, so we will leave in just a minute. But there's the fire there, and all along, as far as we can see, looking back, you see the fire seems to be going in a northwesterly direction. But that one's at the top of the hill right now. It's starting to climb over this hill right now. So we're going to send it back to you guys, and we'll heed the warning we had to leave this area, and we'll be back with you in just a little while. One other thing, evacuation orders are in place. We have seen, this is a ranch area. We have seen a lot of people with their loaded up with the trucks and the trailers, loaded with horses, and heading right down this hill back down to the 210 freeway.
It's not a good day in Ventura County.
Let's get right to breaking news. This is in Ventura County. The brush fire is 31,000 acres with no containment. We should remind you that we're calling this the Thomas Fire. 150 buildings have been destroyed.
More than 260,000 customers in Ventura, Oxnard, Camarillo, Santa Barbara have no power this morning. 27,000 people have been ordered to evacuate. A number of neighborhoods have all right now. Cara, tell us your location and give us the latest.
Yeah, we're just off of Island View Drive, Jeff, and behind us, take a look. One home after another has been going up in flames here. Firefighters doing the best they can to protect and save these homes, and tell us they are moving from neighborhood to neighborhood once they believe a home is lost, because that could possibly mean they could save 5 others on a nearby street. We spoke with one Santa Barbara firefighter here who told us very frustrating, and you can see some of the embers whipping up there. Very frustrating for the firefighters here. They arrived on this block when the neighbors were still outside and were trying to save their homes for them. But they said, you know, they got the fires out and they just kept reigniting. So at this point, this cul-de-sac largely burning at this point. Firefighters do keep coming up, checking on it, but they're also moving into other neighborhoods now as this fire continues to spread. We did speak with one Ventura County firefighter captain, firefighting captain, and he told us that with the dangers out here, I mean, we've got not only the winds and these embers flying, but also some